the Fiesta. It's going to be a party New Year's Eve, 7:30 Eastern, ESPN. This is the first college football playoff game we're going to get of this slate. Penn State favored by 10.5 against Boise State. Now, Penn State is in what I would call kicker mode. It's a tough place to be, but y'all know kickers, man. Like, if you make a field goal, you're supposed to do that. Like, you better make that 43-yarder. It's your only job today. But if you miss it, it's like, this guy sucks. Get him out of here. This guy's got no chops. What are we doing? It's kind of where Penn State's at right now. It's the luxury and the disadvantage of the card they drew when it came to their college football playoff path. Beat the brakes off SMU. I mean, Gucci, ostrich, silver buckle, leather belt to behind against SMU. We're all like, yep, they were supposed to do that. Same deal with Boise State. 10.5-point spread. If they blow the doors off them and cover that, good. It's a G5 team. You're supposed to do that as a Big Ten team, with your only loss being to Ohio State during the regular season and then one loss to Oregon in the Big Ten title game. Like, it's unfortunate, but it's where you're at. So can you make the kick when you're in kicker mode? Now, for Boise State, I think there is sort of this stigma around them because they're a G5 team and because of that logo. I don't think Boise State's fearing Penn State at all. I really don't. Like, I think they have a ton of confidence. I think they think that they have the true Heisman winner on their football team in Ashton Jeanty, and I think they're going to go right at Penn State. I think they will go right at them. I think they will run the football. I think they'll be physical, and I think they will swing at their head. I think they're also probably looking at that Oregon tape and saying, okay, this was the best team in America. This is our one common opponent, I believe. Hey, we lost to them by less than y'all lost to them. Just in case you want to check the facts, we lost on a game-losing field goal. Y'all lost by, a touchdown in the Big Ten title game? All right. Bet. We'll see. This all comes down to me for how much you have to ask of the Penn State offense. Because Penn State has been good statistically speaking, right around 33 points a game. They've just been a little bit inconsistent for my liking. Like, 37 points against Oregon was awesome. Is that now who they are going forward, or is it a mother lifting a car off of her children, like superhuman effort, because that's what it required? I don't know. So they'll do that, and they'll also score 13 against Ohio State with no offensive touchdowns. They'll score 33 in overtime against USC, or I guess in a game that went to overtime against USC, and then also score in the 20s against Minnesota. So, like, there's a lot there that I'm unsure of. If it's a situation where Penn State has to score points. College football sickos, make sure you are subscribed right here to the On3 YouTube channel. On this show, The Hard Count, it's college football, nothing but college football all year round. Now, this show is brought to you by our friends over at PrizePicks. Daily fantasy, easy to use, easy to play, easy to withdraw what you win. Follow us here. Use code HARDCOUNT at prizepicks.com. We're going to do our very best to make us all some money. Now, even if we don't, when you play with code HARDCOUNT at prizepicks.com, make yourself $50 in promo funds to then go ball out the rest of this playoff. So again, code HARDCOUNT, $5 in lineups, gets you $50 in promo funds at prizepicks.com. We appreciate y'all subscribing. We appreciate y'all using that code with our friends PrizePicks. Penn State is massively, massively dependent on three weapons offensively: Tyler Warren, Nicholas Singleton, and Katron Allen. I want to really hone in on Warren and Singleton here. Tyler Warren has 92 catches. He is Penn State's leading receiver. No problem with it. Dude's I won't say generational. Everyone says generational. Dude is a superhuman talent. He's a freak show at tight end. Line him up wherever. Line him up at quarterback. Put him at H-back. Hand him the football. I don't care. Dude's a baller, all right? Just so we're on the same page. I have no problem with him having 92 catches. My question becomes, well, our next best receiver has 43 catches. You see the situation there that we run into? What if Boise State just says, we're taking away Tyler Warren? Beat us. Not saying it can't happen. Not saying Penn State couldn't still beat Boise State with that situation, but I do think, look at Boise State's run defense is also pretty solid. Now, have they played the caliber of what Penn State's bringing to the table? I don't know, but I do think it's worth noting. Nick Singleton has 39 catches. That is third most on the team. So what I will say is being dependent on really good players is a good way to win. It's also a very tricky way if they take them away to lose a football game. All right, now can Boise State do that? Remains to be seen. So again, how much does Penn State need to score to beat Boise State? Is it like, hey, 28 will be enough? Or is it like, nah, you might need to score 35, 37, north of 40? All of that to me is dictated by what Ashton Jeanty does. And it's kind of a simplistic way to look at it, but I really believe that's the case. You say, well, he's a one-trick pony. Boise State's a one-trick pony offensively. mean, if that is the case, Boise State has one-trick pony their way to a bye in the college football playoff and a 3-point loss to Oregon. Like, it's hard to knock that. It's hard to say that hasn't worked because every single game, everybody and their mother knows. Even if their mother has never watched a snap of college football, very quickly gets in the know. Ashton Jeanty is getting the ball here. Ashton Jeanty is going to get north of 30 carries a game. He's going to run for over 100 yards. More than likely, probably north of 150, 170. I took the prize picks less on his yards in that Mountain West Conference title game. Was not a good move by your boy, just so we're aligned there. Now, Penn State, their rush defense will be different than anything that Boise State has seen as of late. Penn State's allowing right around 100 yards a game. Good for 6th in America. So I think the question kind of becomes here for Boise State. I just mentioned how much of a one-trick pony they are, and you can't knock them for that. I think in this spot now, you do need something from Maddox Madsen, the quarterback for Boise State. He has been solid. Now, do not hear me incorrectly. Maddox Madsen does not need to go full Battlestar Galactica video game mode for them to win this football game. He does not have to go for 300 yards. You take it, be real nice, be surprising, be nice, but I don't think that has to happen. He just has to be timely. Like, hey, 3rd and 7, they stack the box, go to the right place with the football, get us a first down. Don't take sacks. Like, if Maddox Madsen is just timely, this thing gets really interesting because I do think Ashton Jeanty at some point in time is going to get his. Now, does get his look like 180 on the ground? Does it look like 110 on the ground? It's a pretty massive difference. But I think at some point in time, whether it be in the third quarter or in the first quarter, he will eventually pop one. Okay? So how much are you able to keep your team in striking distance when and if he does pop one, if that makes sense? James Franklin is going to get a lot of discussion in this game, whether they win or they lose. But the conversation around him has been, well, he can't win the big one. Can't win the big one. He's something like 3-18, 3-19 maybe now, depending on how you view the Oregon game, against like top 10 opponents. I say how you view the Oregon game because the Oregon game was outside of the regular season. But with that being said, as much as we knock James Franklin, we being the college football public, for the games that he's lost, Penn State and James Franklin, they don't really lose the games they're supposed to win. Like, say what you want about the big games against Michigan and Ohio State and the Oregon game this year. They don't really have a bunch of, like, take their eye off the ball situation to them. So with that being said, I do think that at the end of the day, the physicality up front that I saw from Abdul Carter, Denai Dennis Sutton, and that defense just swarming around, Penn State, I think, is too good on the back end to allow Maddox Madsen to offset the offensive approach from Boise State and kind of keep Penn State guessing. I don't think that's going to happen. So with that being said, I think the running game of Penn State, I think Drew Aller, first time we mentioned Drew Aller in this preview, funny to say, I think he does enough downfield and maybe also with his legs in this game. I just think Penn State's got too much, man. I think they've got too much, and I think they win this football game. And again, I'm using the first round as a lesson for us here. I think they cover. I think the roster talent is just too much there. I think Penn State's got too many reps under the heavy bar. There it is again with their game against Boise State. So I'll take Penn State to win, Penn State to cover. Now, I will say this for James Franklin. I said it at the top. Kind of in kicker mode, right? Make it awesome. Miss it, what's wrong with you? You don't get credit for going to the grocery store and checking off all the things you're supposed to get on the list. You don't. Penn State is doing that right now in these first two rounds. They're at the grocery store, checking out frozen pizza, awesome, spinach, awesome. This container is way too big. Who needs to buy this much spinach? It is what it is. Milk, got it. You get credit now for making the meal. So Penn State, whoever they see in that next round, that's where you can get some credit for making the meal. 2 playoff wins is nice on a resume. Beating Boise State, I'm not telling you it won't be a dogfight of sorts at times with Ashton Jeanty running the football, but I do think that at the end of the day, they'll win this game, and then they set themselves up for a chance to really make a statement the following week with whoever they draw post Fiesta Bowl. So, again, Penn State to win and Penn State to cover.